Ladies and gents, welcome to Six Figs. I'm Kyle, and we're doing a live stream tonight on crypto news, and we are going to be breaking down the charts at a super high level here. So bear with me 1 second here while I just make sure things super high level here. So sounding good, which they are. We've got 17 strong. So if you guys could please smash that like button, and we'll jump right into it. My dear friend Crypto Wendy O says, if the rumor is true about the Bitcoin ETF getting approved tomorrow, what will you do? And this is actually a really good question that we all should be prepared for. It's not a matter of when, if, it's just a matter of like how people are going to react. Is this going to be one of those sell the news events or something like that? I am not sure. I am not sure what's going to happen. But there have been several big things happening this week. We have the ETF that's possibly on the brink of getting approved, folks. We've got the Department of Justice saying that they're not going to charge Sam Bankman-Fried with illegal political donations, which is just absolutely absurd, right? Because, hey, if it impacts the politicians' wallets, folks, guess what? The politicians will go against the grain on that. So there is a lot of just weird stuff going on right now in the market. I mean, it's just both bullish and bearish. But some of my favorites here in the top 100, ICP's down 4%, but this thing's been on an absolute tear. We've got Wemex, we got Mina, LDO, SEI, Bonk is starting to make a comeback. Big ol' sea of green. We got 26 strong here in the chat, folks. We're seeing some of these market caps start getting bigger again, and this is getting exciting. We're seeing Bitcoin start tearing off, and we're just going to kind of run through the charts. We got ICP still chilling in the number 19 spot. A lot of you guys here are here for the good old ICP and Nervos network. Just doing a quick check on something here. We're all good. So yeah, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to start off here with Bitcoin to see what's going on. And this is why it's so important for you guys to hit that subscribe button, to hit that notification bell, because when we go live and there's extreme volatility like there is right now, we've got basically the market's pumping. And in the live stream, what did we do, a live stream on Friday or Saturday night? We did a live stream on Saturday night, and I had a guest Bitcoin Renegade on, and we were talking about this very large bull pennant and bull flagpole. And I do think that we are going to see Bitcoin rip up to about 47.2. I do think that if Bitcoin rips past 47.2, be on the lookout, because here we come 56K. So these are going to be these areas that we see a little bit of resistance going into these pumps here. This is a very nice pump by Bitcoin. And we had a very clear Elliott wave theory formation to the upside with an A, B, C retracement. Now I'm expecting to see a very similar style move up like this to the upside. So this could be the next drive that potentially allows the floodgates to open with Bitcoin. We're going to have to get past this Gone fan here at about 56,000, somewhere in there. But as you can see, once that happens, Bitcoin, this thing could rip up to 100,000 by March. So it's just anyone's guess as to what's going to happen and how the markets react to the Bitcoin ETFs that are going to get approved. Obviously, if spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved, folks, like, get ready, because that basically means that, folks, these big entities running the ETFs, in order for them to sell Bitcoin to a client, they need to be in possession of it. So they need to actually be in possession of that. It's not a synthetic, right? So I am just looking for a tool here, folks, and it is the Ghost tool. There it is. We'll go with the bars pattern. But you guys can see, we'll just clone this here. Yeah, you guys could see how fast this thing could rip up. I mean, we could be getting ready to see this $100,000-ish level, sometime this spring. I would love to see that. But first, we've got to break through those key points that I mentioned here. So I'm going to go here and refresh this chat just to see what's going on here. We've got El Chingian, Bonclaration, Jason, Leroy, Davey from Ireland. All right. Meta Owl, first, last. Okay. So, so Ethereum, folks, let's just check out Ethereum here quick, because there are a lot of people, and this is the perpetual futures chart. So Ethereum really hasn't ripped off yet, but there is some very bullish things that I am seeing on Ethereum. We got Kevin in the house, Daniel. We've got a very nice, folks. We've got a very nice ascending triangle. This is one of my favorite bull patterns to see, folks. The ascending triangle is awesome. And a lot of times when we start seeing these ascending triangles start to form, it's bullish, and we're going to see the price of ETH start running again. So right now, Ethereum is on the daily chart, nice and tight up close to the Ichimoku cloud. I love that. And I mean, we're going to start seeing some attention grabbing moves, in my opinion, to the upside. Really, I do think that on the weekly, RSI, let's see, RSI on the weekly is way over. Well, I shouldn't say way. It's only at 74 points on the RSI, so that's not too bad. And this thing's just chilling mid-range on the RSI, so on the daily. So yeah, this thing could pump here. How far? Let's just kind of do some mathematics. And interestingly enough, as a trader, folks, you need to be aware of a few things. And I learned this from a lot of old options traders. And basically, one options trader that was a big influence in my life, in my trading career, he always said, watch out for the 127. A lot of options traders will go ahead and flip positions. The real good options traders, though, don't take chances, right? They would wait for the 161.8 to come and flip a position. So I think, like ETH, it's interesting to see how ETH is kind of really focused on this 127 right now. But I really would love to throw up a Gone fan here, folks, because I almost feel like this Ethereum chart is like there's something more to see here. So let's just do this. If we're sitting down to do TA and look at the markets, folks, we need to do this at a super high level. And we need to do this at a super high level more than anyone else, because guess what? If everybody else is watching the same indicators and things like that, you're going to see sharks like myself come in and eat them up as far as the trading goes. So we need to be one step ahead of everybody. And there's one thing, folks, that I will tell everybody on this channel all the time. And that is to try to have a forward thinking mindset when you're trading. Try to be able to visualize patterns and things like that. And I'm going to get rid of this. There we go. Okay, I just had to get rid of something at this template, which is driving me nuts. Okay, yeah, I want to get rid of this template. There, it's gone. All right, there we go. I had to fix my video here. We got 40 strong in the chat, but we just threw up the Gone fans, folks, and Gone fans are very important. Whenever we throw up a Gone fan, we need to do our homework here and make sure that we didn't mess up and that we are seeing price action be supported off levels. We are seeing price action, getting some resistance off some of these levels. So this looks like a very well-placed Gone fan to me, but we are going to take a quick peek at Ethereum, folks, because this thing could be the next one to run. So right now we do have Ethereum, like I just mentioned. I don't think that Ethereum is just going to sit idle with the rest of the markets. I do think like once Bitcoin starts running, people are going to start getting excited about Ethereum too. But let's just say something happens and like the markets are just chill and it's just this crazy flashpoint for Bitcoin. We could even see Ethereum prolong itself maybe to February. I doubt it in this case, though. We do have a nice cup and handle. I think Ethereum's ready to go, and I think Ethereum's ready to go up to around this $3,000 to $3,094-ish level. This thing's just been like a very dry powder keg, like somebody mentioned in the comments, I think. But let's see if some of those Gone fan lines coordinate with any of our Fibonacci. I know there's a lot to look at here, but we are going to zoom in and stretch this out. So obviously this 161.8 is where I am targeting. I would like to see price come up to at least this 29.4, but we might see it run as high as like, 3,100 somewhere in there. So I do think that ETH is definitely priming to run. No doubt about that. So, the only thing we got to worry about here really is if the ETFs, folks, if these ETFs that Crypto Wendy O is talking about gets basically disapproved or not approved at all. So with that said, let's take a look at ICP, folks. And in the last video, over the last few days, I've been kind of telling people that, ICP was in this phenomenal bull flag. We saw a price rip up to like 15.55, and we've been under some, some selling. Whenever you see price rip up, this thing has tripled in price in the matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So, of course, we're going to get the people taking profits and things like that. When I was talking to everyone the last time on ICP, folks, excuse me, I'm very parched. I'm dealing with some nasty sinus stuff. I was kind of talking about how it wouldn't surprise me if we saw ICP go into somewhat of an ascending triangle and then start ripping again. It's a little baby, it looks like King Crimson. My message is getting through. They don't show in the chat. Refresh the page. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm seeing you come through. Yeah, I'm seeing you come through, bro. But we got 50 strong here in the chat, so thanks everyone for being here. So ICP, we've got to wait and see what happening with this thing. But we do have on this 4-hour chart, though. I mean, here you go, ICP. We had a nice bull pennant, a bull flagpole, and we might have some sort of a pennant here forming or something like that. it wouldn't surprise me if we saw ICP come back up and test this like $15.38 level, somewhere in there. I am just kind of looking at the chat here. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening, King. Just hang in there. Lick the like button. I like that. Lick it. So yeah, 4-hour chart's looking good, but like I said, I'm not going to get any hurt feelings if we start to see ICP maybe kind of wiggle closer to this 50 moving average. Maybe something like this, and then retry that $50-ish level. But ICP has been absolutely ripping. And let's just go ahead here and throw up a Fibonacci that I'm very excited about. We'll talk ICP price tag here for a second. And I like using the September 5th-ish, somewhere in there, 2021 high of 87 as my starting point for my extension. And I do think that, actually, folks, I think that ICP is gunning for this $22-ish level. It is what it is. ICP right now, folks, we're sitting at this $6 billion level for internet computer. What would a $22-ish price tag look like? I mean, guys, that's just that's just under a 2x from here, right? It's like a I don't know, like a 1x, 1.5x. So I mean, it is what it is. I do think that $22 is possible for ICP here in the very short term, and I'm just saying the very short term. But I think we'll probably see something like this happen, and then a move up, like I was saying. So let's go ahead here. Why don't you guys start polluting the chat with whatever it is that you're holding? Origin, folks, I know we got some ICP people here in the chats probably. So Origin, folks, I'm super bullish on Origin. I own some Origin, not as much as I want. But I do think on these Origin charts that there could be this inverse head and shoulders here. I mean, this one's kind of easy to draw out, right? So Origin, you can pick this up on some of the DApps or on some of the DEXs on the internet computer, or if you have MEXC, you can pick up Origin there. But I'll caution you on MEXC. There's been some drama going around on MEXC the last few weeks, and there might be some really weird fishy stuff going on. So my advice would be if you're gonna pick up Origin, do it in a way where you can get it off the exchange immediately. So Origin, what am I looking at for maybe some price targets, things like that? Ooh, this thing had a real nasty wick down, didn't it? Oof. My goodness. So Origin, folks, this thing is climbing up to this 127. I would like to see a solid, almost 3 cents here soon with Origin. There is one other thing I want to do, and I want to throw up the Gone fans on this as well. This is one of those projects, folks, where it's it's got a lot of things going for it, but not a lot of publicity around it. And I say that because Paris Hilton is involved. There's a lot of these crazy popular luxury brands involved with Origin, and basically what they're trying to do is bring certificate of authenticity and stuff like that to the blockchain for their products. And look at this, folks. Look at this. This is why I love the Gone fans. So with Origin, You can see how well it's respecting this 1-to-1. And we do have a very nice bull flagpole. We'll just scoot on over to like the 4-hour chart. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see Origin. Here's our bull flagpole, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it kind of scoot up into this little squeeze point here. So I do think that Origin is possibly setting up for maybe a little bit of a bounce here to the upside. But once this thing does clear this little intersection, there might be some room for this thing to really run to like 5 cents, somewhere in there. So yeah, I like Origin. Somebody in the chat mentioned Gold Gov. I do own Gold Gov, and actually, I threw in on the Gold DAO, the Gold Governance token. I threw in a cool, what was it, like 100 ICP, I think, on this. So yeah, it's an interesting project. This I cannot chart right now. TradingView just isn't tracking it. It just is too new of a token. But basically what these guys are doing is creating a USD pegged stablecoin backed by gold. So that is what gets me bullish because, let's face it, the US dollar, they're printing that thing to death. And if you can swap out into gold, folks, oh boy, at least something backed by gold. That is crazy. The gold DAO, this closed. So this has completed. You can buy this on the open market, I believe. But yeah, Gold DAO does have some things to do with Origin as well. So we'll look at Quant here next. Let me know in the chat if you guys are holding Quant. Right away, I get this weird feeling that there could be, okay, I was going to say there could be maybe some sort of harmonic pattern with Quant. But this thing, let's just check this out on the weekly. Of course, I'm looking at the perpetual futures. So let's get over to like a Coinbase chart or Binance. And, a lot of people are bullish on Quant. I don't own any. And to be honest with you, I just don't know too much about the project. But as far as I know on the daily RSI, it's still chilling at 70. It's still cool. This thing can pump a little bit. But on this daily, folks, we do have a nice bull flagpole with a pennant that is starting to form. So I do think with Quant, this thing, again, I don't know much about the tokenomics or anything, but I would say, Quant is getting ready to maybe gear up. But let's see here. Quant heavy into CBDC. Okay. Mohammed threw in 23 ICP into Gold. How do I go back and check what it's doing right now? I'm not sure, man. I think you'd have to go back to your NNS and see what's up. But yeah, Quant's looking good. How high could Quant go? Let's check that out. Things I'm looking at with Quant. This thing's probably going to get hung up a little bit at the 61.8 at right around $160. But if this thing can plow through $160, look for that $192 level. $286, $352-ish level. But I mean, this coin's an expensive coin right now. It's sitting at $142, and I mean, even if this thing runs up to $354, at the 161.8, that's always kind of like my target. It could run higher, but that's only like a 2x, 2.5x from here. So I mean, you throw $1,000 into something like Quant. If it runs up to $352, well, you're gonna 2.5x your money. So with that said, folks, Cardano, You know, this is something that we covered, and I was kind of talking about how we'd see this maybe ascending triangle. So bear with me. You know, so we've got an ascending triangle that is forming very nicely on Cardano. Um, you know, this thing's looking to start ripping. There's no doubt about that. We can see some very nice resistance points here. The lows are getting higher. Great to see. So my guess here is any day now, we're going to see Cardano start to pump here. And my guess is it's going to get a bump off this shoulder or something like that. And we'll see this thing pump. But there is a lot of wide open space for Cardano to run. So I do think we could see Cardano rip up to like that $2.33 level before it needs to take a cool down break or something like that. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this chart. And I just want to throw up some Fibonacci extensions. Let's kind of see where things are at. Okay, yeah, this looks good. So, I mean, this thing's been running up quite a bit. Let's just move this a little bit more. Yeah, so this thing, we're seeing this really kind of get a little bit of pressure around this 236. I just want to make sure that I got this tuned in. Yeah, so like $1.13, $1.48. Let's see, we got $2.32 for Cardano. But, you know, if this thing hits the big time, guys, you know, $3.75, but that $4.76 Cardano is kind of what I would be targeting going into the next bull run. Obviously, I think it has, you know, the capabilities to get higher, but $4.76 right now, you know, that is a, let's just do 476 divided by 0.628. So that's a 7.5x. And when I look at Cardano, and this thing hit $100 billion market cap the last bull run, maybe just a little bit over. So this thing's sitting at $22 billion right now. So let's just do the math on this. So that means we would need to see $166 billion market cap to hit this $4.76 price. So it's going to need to almost, you know, rip hard for a while. Somebody says in the comment, where are the dApps, Charles? Good point. Good point. Yeah, so it is what it is. So Bitcoin, folks, you know, this is interesting as well. So if you guys missed the last, like one of the live streams I did, you know, recently, I was telling everybody, watch for Bitcoin to lose its dominance. There's a head and shoulders pattern here. And look what happened. Well, we got the head and shoulders pattern and it lost dominance. And now we're seeing, you know, a crazy pumping happen. So this is one good way that you can learn. You know, if you see Bitcoin losing its dominance or its foothold, you know what? You're going to see the alts pump. However, like Wendy O says, the Bitcoin ETF gets approved, we might see some God candles on this market cap dominance, folks. So yeah, we got, let's see here. I'm looking at the comments section. Right, so let's just check out CKB here. This is one of those projects that I'm super bullish on. This thing, you know, it's got a very textbook bull flag pull, and really this thing's got a very nice consolidating, almost like a flag style pattern. You guys can kind of see. So we'll see what happens with this. I am hopeful that this thing starts taking off. And I do have some really interesting price targets for this project. I'm just going to go ahead and get this on the Binance chart or the Yeah, we'll do this on the Binance chart. But yeah, they've got some interesting stuff going on. So with CKB, last bull market they reached about a 4.5 cent level, um, about 4.5 cent level. So I'm hoping this bull market, we at least see like a 7 to maybe 8 cent level with CKB. And the one thing that I like about this project is, like we mentioned, a lot of those other tokens and things like that, they might only have a 2.5, 3x to go. Nervos Network has made better accomplishments than Cardano, but nobody knows about Nervos Network. Nervos Network had a way kick-ass like decks and everything before like Cardano did. I'm not knocking on Cardano or anything like that, but this thing sitting at a market cap of $173 million. So, this thing's still got some gas left in the tank, and I'm looking at like I said, I'm targeting the 7 to 8 cent level range. So I'm just gonna go like 7.5 cents, and we'll divide that by 0.00402. That's about what we're at right now. So I mean, this thing could potentially do an 18x from here. Again, not financial or trading advice, but even if this thing landed at 3.5 cents, you're still looking at like a 9x. So I do think like it's one of those projects to kind of keep an eye on. Obviously, the top 20 projects, they've run up a lot their day. But Nervos, and we talk about an 18x approximately. Now that would put Nervos at let's see here. What is the market cap? Oh, why am I missing that? Okay, 173 mil. We'll just round this up to 174 mil times 18. So yeah, we'd see about a cool $3 billion market cap. Totally doable. And out of the grand scheme of things, this is a project that's at the 262. It's at rank 262. So solid project in my opinion. They're more grassroots, but they've got some kick butt stuff. Joy ID, check it out. It'll be like one of the most awesome wallets you've ever downloaded. But let's just look at, I did see somebody say eGold, and then we'll hit XYO. Let me know in the comments if you're holding XYO. I've thought about it, but I'm just not sure. So with eGold, in the last stream I mentioned, this thing, I do believe this thing is going to break possibly this rising wedge. This is a bearish pattern to be seen, the rising wedge, but with the way market sentiment is right now and how things are going to like pump, I've seen some similar rising wedges break down, and I've seen price action absolutely destroy them, and Ethereum was one of them. So I do think that there is this possibility that the eGold crowd avoids this, but if you do see this thing rip to the downside, the one positive thing is this is like a less than like a month or two long pattern, so I don't think it's going to get too nasty. Like I said, I don't think this thing's going to drop too much. But on the grand scheme of things, like I said, I do think eGold, I think it's just one of those projects that's strong enough at this point to break through. And I do feel like this thing's going to gun for $145. There's like 20 million tokens in circulation or something like that. So they got a super low token amount. And I mean, this thing, man, this thing could rip to like $685 to $865 in my opinion, if not higher. We'll just have to keep our eyes on this little pattern here. There's a very little pattern here. And this is a humongous falling wedge. Very bullish pattern to be seen. So I wouldn't be worried about a little something like this after seeing such a gigantic pattern play out. So I'm bullish on e-gold. I know a lot of people that are bullish on it. Let's look at XYO. And then, oops, I typed in ZYO, guys. Actually, I got to check on one. I'm check on this token called Syncus. And this one I am invested in, full disclosure. Syncus is a total Ponzi scheme style tokenomics. Basically, it requires you to take a 15% haircut when you sell. So when you buy in, you need this price to go up at least 15% in order to break even, essentially. So I ended up getting in right about like 0.0032-ish. And then it ripped up. I sold off, and then I bought in about another $1,500 around the same price. But this is an ETH token, and you can get it on Uniswap, I believe, only right now. This is one of those plays, folks, like I'm expecting to lose my money on it. But I've got some price points kind of charted out that I wouldn't mind targeting and then exiting and probably never returning to Syncus. But it's an absolute degen play, and I got very little money into it. I'm not saying that you should go or buy this at all, but it is a very interesting Ponzi-nomic play, if you want to call it that. And I'm calling it exactly what it is, right? I'm not sugarcoating that thing at all. Here we have a bunch of old TA that I was doing here. I think what I was trying to figure out here is if price action would rip, and it looks like it did, right up to this 161.8. Been a long time since I looked at XYO. This was probably December of 2022, somewhere in there that I drew that up. But this actually is looking really good right now. I kind of like this. Setup here. Let's just check and see what this thing's doing on the weekly. Let me know who's all holding XYO in the comments. Now, there is some interesting things going on here that I notice right out of the gates. And first and foremost is this potential inverse head and shoulders. So if you see XYO maybe retrace a little bit, we could be gearing up to see something like this happen. However, XYO, this thing's looking pretty fresh. This thing's looking really good, actually. We've got, besides that, there is this very nice, possibly it's kind of a cracked out cup, but we might have a cup and handle forming here. And I can tell you guys that this is a bull flag pull, and we are seeing some sort of symmetrical triangle squeeze in the form of a pennant. And Bitcoin Renegade says XYO is fire. All right. But, if something happens and this fails, I would be on the lookout for an inverse head and shoulders on this. Now, where can this thing go? Again, I don't know much about the tokenomics on this thing. That's the one thing about these coins. Like, I don't know how inflationary, deflationary things have gotten from like this point down to this point. I just don't know if there's a fixed amount or finite amount of or infinite amount of tokens. But I'd be eyeing up about 2 cents on XYO just for starters. Again, I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me, the token supply could have increased drastically since November of 2021. And this number might be, You know, that might not even be attainable anymore. But a 2 cent level, 6 cent level, even a 13 cent level on XYO might be possible. Now, well, there's one thing that I can say about XYO, and it looks like this thing. Okay, so let's just check this out on CoinGecko here, just to figure out what's going on with this thing. Okay, so this thing's got a max supply of about 14 billion tokens, and they're all circulating. So that's great to see. So, with that said, I think it's possible for it to rip up a little bit. Now, you have to think we'll just round this to 14 billion. So, at a $14 billion valuation or market cap, XYO would be, and is this the right one? XYO Network? Am I on the right one? Somebody let me know in the comments. Is this the right one? Make sure I'm not looking at something else. Is this the right one? XYO? XYO. Okay. I bet, yeah, this seems like this would be, it seems like this one would be the right one. But it's ranked 412. Okay, in the total cryptoverse. You know, the tokenomics, let's see if they got anything. Nothing there. Well, anyways, getting back to it, you know, so for this thing to hit $1, we would need to see this thing hit $14 billion market cap. So, you know, over time, it's possible, but right now, a lot of the top 20 tokens aren't even that. So, you know, conservatively, I'd be interested in that 6 cent level, 13 cent level. And I mean, this thing's trading at, this is 13 divided by 0.00349. So, I mean, this thing could give an impressive like 37x from here if we run up to that 161.8 at about 13 cents. So, I mean, that's something to think about. Yeah, I don't know much about the project, though. So that's what, you know, I'm going to look into it, though. I'm going to look into it. Thanks to whoever told me to check out XYO. So that might be a solid one to look into. And somebody's saying ALCX, Mohammed. Okay. ALCX. We'll look at this. This thing's been running. Holy cow. Okay, so this thing has been running very nicely. Looks like classical Elliott wave theory, too. Let's look at the weekly. Okay. One thing I like to see about the projects on the weekly, folks, is that we get these candles above this Ichimoku cloud on the weekly. So that's good. We're starting to see, you know, a little bit of a green Ichimoku cloud, and this looks like it launched in the bear market. So with that said, let's look at the daily on this thing. Okay, here we go, okay. So yeah, this one's very interesting. This one just kind of reminds me of that XYO chart that we were looking. The XYO, it was one of those charts we were just looking at. I do think that there could be somewhat of a pullback coming, but I say that because we might have some sort of Elliott wave theory pattern that has completed here now, and we might be looking for like an A, B, C corrective wave, maybe come back and tag this 50 moving average, and then see price move to the upside. I don't know enough about this project, but it's trading at 33 bucks. So that is pretty good. Let's just take a quick peek here. I'm curious to see what this thing's been doing. Okay, so it's been playing nicely within the fibs. Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead here and run these up. Oh, man. Okay, so this thing would need a 3x to get back up to the $100 level. Let's just look at this on the charts. ALCX. ALCX. And here it is. Right here. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so this makes sense, guys. I was going to say, these kind of seemed like some high prices to me. But this is interesting. I don't know enough about ALCX right now. But this has a max supply of 2.8 million tokens. And it's at a circulating supply of just over 2 million. So, I mean, man, this thing could run. I'd be targeting this $530 to $671 level. I don't know anything about this token. I don't know what kind of demand that will bring, but at $671 divided by 33.60, it's looking at a possible 20x from here to run up to those numbers. And right now, this thing's only got a market cap of 70 million. We'll just call it that. So 70 times, what did I say, 19. So yeah, you could get a nice 1.5 billion dollar market cap, and you could be chilling at this $671 ish level. So I might pick up a couple of these. It looks like it's on Binance, Sushi Swap. Okay, so it's not even on like Coinbase. Let's see here. Okay, it is. Okay, so Coinbase has it. So it's on a whole bunch of exchanges. I was going to say, if this thing's like on a couple exchanges only at this time, this thing could be a prime one to run up. Okay, guys, I'm going to hit up Jasmy next. And let me know in the comments if you guys are holding Jasmy. Okay. Looks like the last time we looked at Jasmy, we were looking to see if this thing, I believe I was warning people to watch out for a head and shoulders pattern because we had a clear neckline and everything was going for it as far as a very bearish head and shoulders pattern. But it looks like price avoided and deviated from this pattern and escaped. So that is good to see with Jasmy. Let's just kind of take a peek at where this thing's at on the weekly first. This looks like, yeah, this is another bear market launch token, I do believe. And man, this thing could be setting up. Well, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I was going to say, this thing's been getting big time resistance around this 0.007 cent-ish level. Let's just pull this up here. I know Bitcoin Renegade, I think, he was a big Jasmy guy. I don't know if you still are. I don't know if he's still here. But Jasmy. Okay, it's rank 176. Okay, 50, looks like a 50 billion total supply, and it's almost got 50 billion circulating. I like to see these kind of numbers. So this thing would need $50 billion market cap, in theory, to reach $1. Okay, maybe in a bull run, let's just say if this thing hit 50 cents, that'd be a $25 billion market cap. So let's just do this. This is interesting. So like right now, the market cap is a cool $334 billion. Or $1 billion, excuse me. Let's go 25 billion. Divide by 334, 547. Okay. I mean, if this thing hit a $25 billion market cap at like 50 cents, that's a 74x from here. It's very interesting. So that would be interesting. Let's go back to the charts here. But what I did notice was that there's a lot of resistance right along these levels that it's at right now. If it can break through it, which it looks like it's gonna do, Looks like Jasmine really, man, this thing got clobbered. But I do think that there could be. Let's run this back up here. You know, I do think that there could be this possibility for this thing to at least run up to like this 8 cent level. God dang, I just don't feel comfortable running it all the way up that high. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those tricky things. This looks like the ICP chart. So I do know that this is during a bear market. So I am considering that. But there's been a really nice consolidation here, really over the last year. So with that said, folks, I mean, I do think that there could be this possibility that we come up and at least hit this 8 cent level, maybe the 61.8 level at 22 cents. I mean, at that point, 22 cents would be a nice target for this. And, let's just go to 22 cents divided by 0.00688. So that would be a cool 31x from here. Times 335. Just want to see something here. Yeah, so I mean, this thing could land at a $10 billion market cap. Crypto Nation says Jasmine is definitely hitting 50 cents. Okay. So the 161.8's right up by that 57-cent level. Gonna need a $25 billion market cap for that. But anything's possible in crypto. I have learned that, folks. Well, I'm starting to kind of get tired here. So we will catch you guys all on the next live stream. Thanks for being here. If you guys could also do me a favor and smash that like button on the way out, I would truly appreciate it. We'll see you guys all on the next video. Peace.